Welcome back. I'm your host, Jason Atkinson, and I'm here to educate, encourage, and inspire you to make real and lasting change. So, big question for today. What are ultra processed foods? You hear me talking about ultra processed foods and how bad they are and why we shouldn't be consuming a lot of those. An ultra processed food is a product that has been taken from its original natural form and creating another product that is maybe almost unrecognizable. So I'll give you an example. Corn, okay, that's a major ingredient in all types of processed foods. Corn can be ground up into a powder, and that's called corn flour. That's what cornbread is made out of, for example. You can squeeze it and get oil out of it. That's corn oil. Actually, I have to heat it up and extract it with chemicals in order to get the oil out of it. And that's the reason why those type of oils are not super healthy for us. They're very high in omega-6s, inflammatory fats, create poor quality cells that metabolize nutrients poorly, and they're not wonderful for heart health, despite the industry advertisements. And then you can take corn and you can get glucose out of it, or you can get sugar out of it, and that's turned into a product called high fructose corn syrup. So the specific type of carbohydrate that's found in corn and other grains, yes, corn is a grain, believe it or not, that is fructose. So concentrated ingredients like that, they've had all the nutrients stripped out. So there's nothing in there that can cause you to possibly be full. Okay, there's no protein, there's no fiber, there's no water, and there's no fat content. Okay, so going back to the low fat era of the 80s, if you remember when all this metabolic problem began, was in the 80s when we were, as a country, the health authorities, so-called authorities, were promoting a grain-based diet. Grain is not great for human health, specifically processed grains. Now, a whole food grain ingredient in its natural form, like steel-cut oats, that's kind of a questionable, okay, in my mind. It's not something I would say avoid like the plague, but it's probably not the best start to your day, especially if you have metabolic disorder. You don't want to go dumping a bunch of carbohydrate in your body first thing in the morning, or really at any point during the day, or even the week, depending on your tolerance. Now, that's individualized. But that being said, corn muffin is a very high glycemic, high energy food. So let's just imagine that has some corn syrup that has been added to it. Most of these commercial mixes have some kind of sweetener that's been added. And what if you use like some margarine or a fake butter type product that was made with these inflammatory seed oils? Now you have a food that's super high in carbohydrate, super high in energy from fat as well, super low in anything that promotes satiety like protein, fiber, water, or fat. Okay, so contrary to what we thought, those health authorities did not have our best interest in mind. They weren't advising us on what to eat for health reasons. They were doing it for financial reasons. Knowing the test studies have been done, the more fat that's in a product, the more protein that's in a product, the more fiber that's in a product, the more water that's in a product, the less of it someone's going to eat, and the less time it spends on the shelf earning money for the processed food manufacturing companies. There's only about a handful of those, five to 10 companies that own practically everything, parent companies that own all the food distribution channels in this country, and that's really big business. Go to your local grocery store and up and down the aisles, and you'll see that 90% of what's in there is a bag, box, or a bottle, and something that didn't even exist 200 years ago. That's not real food. You may have heard this analogy of shop the perimeter of the grocery store. That's great advice. You think about what's on the outside. Produce, meat, dairy, eggs, the bakery, but that's the only exception. Deli, there's more meat, right? So you just got like real food. You got meat, eggs, some poultry products, some dairy products, maybe some nuts and seeds and fruits and veggies that are over in the produce department, and that's really the whole human diet. All these things up and down the middle of the aisle here are ultra-processed foods. That's some combination of grains, flour, sugar, syrup, what else? Oil, okay? Those are the ingredients. I could flip an ingredients panel over on any ultra processed food, read the ingredients, and you would not be able to tell exactly what product that was from the ingredient list, because those ingredients are in everything. If you read like 10 processed food labels, it's all the same things. Modified cornstarch, modified syrup, this and that, high fructose, this or that, vegetable oil, canola, soy, wheat flour, processed bleached, enriched wheat flour. Those are all ingredients, and they're not there for our health. They're there to keep us consuming lots and lots of the product. So the solution, the solution to this whole ultra processed mess is to eat real food. Prioritize nutrient density, limit energy density. Nutrients, protein is the main one. You need about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. That may sound like a lot, but 150, 200 grams, that's not it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. I mean, 25 grams is about like your fist or your palm. That's 25 grams. So if you did that, 4, 6, or 8 times, there you go. Some of that can be yogurt or whey protein. It doesn't have to be a full meal. It can be a scoop of protein powder, anything to get the nutrients that your body demands. Especially if you are doing some type of strength training, resistance training, you're accelerating the need for repair. You need more protein. That's your main nutrient. And you need some essential fatty acids. Okay? All fat is not terrible. Some fat is helpful. Monounsaturated, heart-healthy fats from nuts or seeds, avocados, those are olives. Those are types of oils or products produced with those type of oils have heart health benefits. The ones to stay away from are the polyunsaturated fats. Those are corn oil, canola oil, sunflower, safflower, any kind of seed oil treated with high heat, chemicals, turned into a processed product. Those are the ones to avoid. Now, the jury is still out on saturated fats. So coconut oil is the only plant source, palm oil, coconut and palm oil are the only plant source saturated fats. That is a fat that is solid at room temperature. Most of those are animal sourced. So beef, fat, any animal, chicken that has fat on it, that's going to be saturated fat. And bacon, that's a perfect example, saturated fat. Okay. Now, prioritize the good stuff, limit the bad stuff, and that's pretty much it. Okay. If you have stored body fat that you're trying to metabolize, you're going to have to train your body to, instead of like you're currently storing fat and burning sugar, you need to switch that around so that you're burning fat and storing sugar or starch or carbohydrate in the muscles as glycogen. So you retrain your body to become a fat burner instead of a sugar burner. This is real science. I did this, okay? I used to be the type of person, I couldn't go more than 3 or 4 meals or 3 or 4 hours without eating something. I would start to feel hangry, not shaky exactly, but just low energy, grumpy, not feeling good, okay? Transitioning from that through a ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting, I've gotten a lot more fat adapted where, the meal can happen or not. If it doesn't, I'm good. I got a little stored body fat I can burn. I'll just eat later. It's not a big deal. My blood sugar's not all over the place because I'm not eating carbohydrates all the time. So there's been a host of benefits from getting fat adapted, but that's pretty much all I got for you today. Stay away from those ultra processed foods, folks, and stick around for the Healthy Holiday Challenge happening right here. And if you enjoy this show, I'm going to put a link to purchase either a book or audio program that I have created, or pick up one of our sponsors' products and services. That really helps us out, keeps the show on the air. That's all I got for today, and I'll be back soon with another one.